Did you know as a young boy the depth of her work that she was doing?
I knew a fair bit of it, mainly because she came back with all these stories and full of excitement and just passion for what she'd been doing.
In a deeply emotional turn of events, Britain has been shaken by what Prince William quietly did on what would have been Princess Diana's 65th birthday. A moment that began as a simple tribute but quickly unfolded into something far more powerful. He reawakened memories of Diana that many believed were long buried. As the royal family marked the day in reflection, his gesture triggered a wave of emotion across the nation, reigniting grief, love, and debate. But what did William do, and why is it resonating so deeply right now? So, what do you think about Prince William's tribute to Princess Diana? Was it the perfect way to honor her memory? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. To help us create more videos and uncover the latest royal stories, please subscribe. Diana's unforgettable birthday. On July 1, 2026, Princess Diana would have turned 65 years old. A birthday she never had the chance to celebrate, yet one that millions of people across Britain and around the world could not help but think about. Nearly 3 decades have passed since her tragic death, but her absence continues to be deeply felt. For many, this milestone was more than just another anniversary. It was a powerful reminder of the life Diana never got to live, the grandchildren she never got to watch grow up, and the countless moments that were taken from her far too soon. As the day approached, many people expected Buckingham Palace to release a formal statement or organize a public tribute in her honor. After all, Diana remains one of the most loved and unforgettable figures in modern royal history. But instead of grand ceremonies, carefully written speeches, or highly publicized events, Prince William chose to honor his mother in a way that no one saw coming. His tribute was gentle, heartfelt, and deeply personal, carrying quiet meaning that lingered. There were no bright cameras, no royal spectacle, and no effort to make it a public show. Instead, William honored his mother's lasting lessons: kindness, compassion, humility, and remembering people often overlooked. Every simple action reflected genuine love, quiet strength, and sincere respect, leaving a powerful impression that touched hearts, inspired hope, and said far more than any carefully prepared speech ever possibly could alone. Forever. As more details about William's decision gradually emerged, people across Britain found themselves unexpectedly emotional. Many believed they were witnessing something far greater than a simple birthday remembrance. This was a son choosing to honor his mother on his own terms, not through royal tradition or palace protocol, but through the lessons she passed down to him as a child. For years, questions have surrounded how Princess Diana's legacy should be preserved and who should shape the way future generations remember her. On what would have been her 65th birthday, William appeared to provide a quiet but powerful answer. Diana's story would no longer be guided by official statements or royal expectations. Instead, it would live on through her family, her values, and the people whose lives continue to be touched by the compassion she inspired. William chose to honor his mother on what would have been her 65th birthday. But what exactly did he do on this emotional day? Was it entirely his own initiative? Or was he simply carrying forward the lessons his mother taught him as a child? Let's uncover the heartfelt details. William's powerful birthday tribute to Diana. Instead of honoring his mother's birthday week with grand royal ceremonies, polished speeches, or widely covered public appearances, Prince William chose a quieter and far more meaningful path, one that truly reflected the kind, caring woman Princess Diana was. Rather than seeking attention from cameras, he spent his time supporting people experiencing homelessness, a cause that always held a special place in Diana's heart. His thoughtful choice revealed that the compassion, humility, and sense of service she lived by continue to guide him every single day. Just a few days before July 1st, William traveled to Aberdeen, Scotland, to support Homewards, the ambitious homelessness initiative he leads through the Royal Foundation.
I remember being taken by my mother to a homelessness shelter at a young age, her explaining to me why the people I met there matter, and why no society can be healthy.
His visit was far from a symbolic royal appearance. He rolled up his sleeves and joined volunteers in preparing newly completed homes for families ready to begin a fresh chapter in their lives. William helped carry chairs, unpack household appliances, organize essential supplies, and prepare welcome packages filled with everyday items that would help new residents settle into their homes. There were no grand announcements or attempts to draw attention to himself. Instead, he focused on making a real difference, one small act of kindness at a time. For people who have watched William over the years, his decision felt completely natural. He has often shared how his mother introduced both him and Prince Harry to charities supporting people experiencing homelessness while they were still young boys. Diana wanted her sons to see that the real world reached far beyond palace gates. She encouraged them to meet people from different backgrounds, hear their personal stories, and never ignore anyone facing difficult times. Those early experiences stayed with William, shaping his character, deepening his compassion, and influencing the way he carries out his royal duties with kindness, purpose, understanding, and a genuine desire to help others. Instead of marking what would have been Diana's 65th birthday with grand ceremonies or public celebrations, William chose to spend the day supporting vulnerable families in need. His decision became a powerful reminder that his mother's compassion, kindness, and selfless spirit still shape the way he lives. Rather than relying on emotional speeches, he honored her legacy through meaningful actions that spoke straight to the heart. Yet while these heartfelt public efforts touched countless people across Britain, they were only one part of William's tribute. William personally took part in helping vulnerable people, just as his mother was known for doing. But did he also involve his children in this remarkable tribute? What message did he share with them about their grandmother? Let's find out. Heartfelt family tribute that touched millions. While much of the public focused on Prince William's charitable work during what would have been Princess Diana's 65th birthday, another deeply moving tribute was taking place far from the cameras. Behind the privacy of family life, William reportedly devoted time to making sure his three children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, continued to learn about the grandmother they never had the chance to meet. It was a quiet but meaningful way of keeping Diana's memory alive, not through grand ceremonies or official speeches, but through the simple power of family stories. William has always believed his children should know Diana as far more than a famous royal, whose face appears in history books and television documentaries. He wants them to discover the real woman behind the title, a loving mother who filled his childhood with laughter, warmth, kindness, and unforgettable lessons about caring for others. Rather than letting newspapers or television shape her story, William has reportedly chosen to share his own treasured memories. He shows his children family photographs, recalls simple everyday moments, and tells heartfelt stories that reveal Diana's true character, helping them feel connected to the grandmother they never had the chance to meet. These conversations have become even more meaningful as George, Charlotte, and Louis grow older and become naturally curious about the grandmother whose name is still spoken with such affection around the world. Like many children, they have begun asking questions, wanting to know what she was like, what made her so special, and why so many people continue to love her nearly 30 years after her passing. William has embraced those questions, seeing them as an opportunity to pass down not only memories, but also the values Diana lived by. For William, this goes far beyond protecting family memories or honoring the past. It is about ensuring his mother's compassion, kindness, and caring spirit continue to inspire future generations. Every story he shares, every treasured photograph he reveals, and every valuable lesson he passes on keeps Diana's legacy alive, allowing the people she would have loved most to feel her warmth, influence, and lasting presence every day. By choosing these quiet family moments instead of public ceremonies, William gave his mother one of the most heartfelt tributes imaginable. Another remarkable way William honored his mother was by helping his children understand the lasting impact she made on people's lives. But which of his children has shown the greatest interest in learning about their grandmother? Why is she so fascinated by Diana's story? And how did William respond to her curiosity? Let's uncover the details. Charlotte's heartwarming connection to her grandmother. Among all the touching moments surrounding Prince William's tribute to what would have been Princess Diana's birthday, one detail seemed to move people more than any other. It centered on Princess Charlotte, the young granddaughter Diana never had the chance to meet, yet the one who carries her name with quiet pride. For many royal watchers, this beautiful connection between grandmother and granddaughter has become one of the most emotional parts of Diana's lasting legacy. As Charlotte has grown older, those close to the family say she has become increasingly curious about the remarkable woman whose name she shares. Like many children, she naturally wants to know more about the person everyone speaks about with such love and admiration. She has reportedly begun asking thoughtful questions about Diana: what she was like, what made her so special, and why people around the world still remember her with such affection nearly 3 decades after her passing. Prince William has embraced those conversations with great care. Instead of allowing Charlotte to learn about Diana only through television programs, newspaper articles, or public tributes, he has reportedly chosen to tell her the stories that only a son could share. He has spoken about Diana's warmth, her sense of humor, her kindness toward others, and the unconditional love she showed her children. Through these simple family moments, William is introducing Charlotte not to a royal icon, but to the grandmother she never had the opportunity to know. Many royal observers believe these quiet conversations reveal just how much William's approach to grief has changed over the years. As a young boy, his own heartbreak unfolded before millions of people following Diana's death, leaving him with memories that became part of public history. Today, as a father, he is determined to give Charlotte something very different. Rather than allowing cameras or public expectations to shape her understanding of Diana, he is letting that relationship grow naturally within the privacy of family life. More importantly, William is not asking his daughter to inherit sorrow. He is passing on Diana's compassion, generosity, courage, and love for others. In many ways, Princess Charlotte is becoming one of the brightest reminders that although Diana's life ended far too soon, the values she lived by continue to flourish through the generations that follow her. Beyond the beautiful way William responded to his daughter's curiosity about Diana, what heartfelt promise did he once make to his mother? Was he ever able to fulfill that promise, or did something beyond his control make it impossible? If so, how did he find another way to honor her instead? Let's uncover the emotional details. The promise William made to Diana. Long before the world was shaken by Princess Diana's tragic death, Prince William witnessed one of the most heartbreaking moments of his mother's life. In 1996, after her divorce from Charles was finalized, Diana lost the title of Her Royal Highness. Although she remained Diana, Princess of Wales, losing the Her Royal Highness style deeply affected her. It was more than a change in royal protocol. It was a painful reminder that her place within the royal family had changed forever. Those close to Diana said she was devastated, feeling that an important part of her identity had been taken away. William was only 14 years old, but he could clearly see how much his mother was hurting. Seeing her so upset broke his heart. Wanting nothing more than to comfort her, the young prince made a promise that has remained one of the most touching moments in royal history. He reportedly told Diana, "Don't worry, Mummy, I will give it back to you one day when I am king." According to Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, those simple words brought Diana to tears. They were not spoken by a future king thinking about royal titles. They came from a devoted son who simply wanted to make his mother smile again. Sadly, fate had other plans. Less than a year later, Diana died in the tragic Paris car crash at just 36 years old. William never got the chance to keep the promise he had made to her as a heartbroken teenager. For many years, that moment remained one of the saddest what-ifs in the story of their relationship. Yet as people reflected on what would have been Diana's 65th birthday, many believed William had fulfilled that promise in a far more meaningful way than anyone could have imagined. While he could never restore the royal title she lost, he has spent his adult life protecting something even more valuable: her memory, her compassion, and the extraordinary legacy she left behind. Through his actions, his charitable work, and the values he continues to pass on to his own children, William has ensured that no royal decision, no title, and no institution could ever diminish who Diana truly was or what she continues to mean to millions around the world. William once promised his mother that he would restore her royal title, but she was no longer alive to receive that honor. What did Diana leave behind that continues to honor her today? What role has William played in protecting the remarkable legacy she left behind? And did Diana raise him to carry on her work, even without her by his side? Let's find out. Diana's greatest legacy. The reason Prince William's tribute touched so many hearts goes far beyond the fact that it honored his late mother on what would have been her 65th birthday. What made it so powerful was that it reflected the very values Princess Diana lived by throughout her life. She was never content with simply carrying out royal duties. Instead, she changed the way people viewed the royal family by showing that kindness, compassion, and genuine human connection were just as important as tradition and ceremony. During a time when many people feared even touching someone living with AIDS, Diana broke barriers by warmly shaking patients' hands and offering comfort without hesitation. She also walked through active landmine fields in Angola to bring the world's attention to innocent people whose lives had been destroyed by war. Beyond these historic moments, she regularly visited hospitals, children's charities, and homeless shelters, believing that everyone deserved to be treated with dignity, no matter their circumstances. She wanted people to feel seen, valued, and loved. Perhaps one of Diana's greatest achievements was the way she raised her sons. She refused to allow William and Harry to grow up isolated behind palace walls. Instead, she took them to homeless shelters and charities while they were still children, encouraging them to meet people whose lives were very different from their own. She wanted them to understand that titles, wealth, and privilege should never prevent them from showing compassion to others. William has often reflected on those childhood experiences, saying they completely changed how he understood the world around him. The valuable lessons Diana lovingly taught about kindness, compassion, and helping others never faded with time. Instead, they became a lasting guide, shaping his character and continuing to influence the meaningful causes and people he chooses to support today. That is why his work through Homewards means so much. His commitment to tackling homelessness is not simply another royal project or public responsibility. It is the continuation of a mission his mother began many years ago. Every family that receives a safe place to live, every person given a fresh start, and every life changed through his work reflects the values Diana worked so hard to instill in him. In honoring those values every day, William is doing far more than remembering his mother. He is ensuring that her compassion continues changing lives long after she is gone. Even though Princess Diana passed away nearly 3 decades ago, her legacy continues to live on through William's actions. But what has made her influence remain so powerful after all these years? And what beautiful moments has Diana sadly never had the chance to experience? Let's unravel the heartbreaking details. Why Diana's 65th birthday hurt Britain? What made Princess Diana's 65th birthday especially emotional was not simply the passing of another year, but what that age represents. For many people, 65 is a time to slow down, enjoy retirement, watch children build families of their own, and create precious memories with grandchildren. It is often a season filled with joy, reflection, and the rewards of a life well lived. Sadly, Diana never had the chance to experience any of those moments, and that heartbreaking reality made this milestone feel different from every anniversary before it. For millions across Britain and around the world, July 1, 2026 became more than a birthday that never happened. It became a reminder of the future Diana was denied. She never saw Prince William grow into the thoughtful father and future king he is today. She never watched Prince Harry become a husband and father. Most heartbreaking of all, she never met Prince George, Princess Charlotte, or Prince Louis, the grandchildren she almost certainly would have adored. Many people found themselves imagining what Diana would have been like at 65. They pictured her cheering proudly from the sidelines at family events, laughing with her grandchildren, sharing stories with them, and continuing the warmth and compassion that made her so deeply loved during her lifetime. It is easy to imagine that she would have remained a comforting presence within the royal family and an inspiration to countless people around the world. Prince William appeared to understand those emotions better than most people. Rather than asking the public to dwell only on the sadness of losing Diana, he gently turned attention to the lasting gifts she left behind. Through his work, his family life, and the values he shows every day, William reminded everyone that his mother's compassion, influence, and inspiring legacy continue to touch countless lives long after her passing. Although Diana never had the opportunity to grow older, her love continues to grow through those she left behind. It lives on in the compassion William shows to others, in the lessons he teaches his children, and in every act of kindness inspired by the remarkable example she set. In that sense, Diana's 65th birthday became not only a moment of remembrance, but also a powerful celebration of a legacy that continues to touch lives nearly 3 decades after her death. Although Diana never lived to see this moment, her impact remains alive in the hearts of millions. But how is William protecting her remarkable legacy? How far is he willing to go to ensure that his mother's memory lives on for generations to come? And have his efforts truly made a difference? Let's find out. William took charge of Diana's legacy. For nearly 30 years, Princess Diana's memory has occupied a unique place within the royal family and in the hearts of millions around the world. She remains one of the most admired and beloved royals in history. Yet remembering her has often required a careful balance. The monarchy has had to honor her enormous impact, while also protecting an institution that experienced some of its most difficult moments during her lifetime. As a result, many public tributes have been respectful but measured, carefully avoiding reopening old wounds or controversies. However, what happened on what would have been Diana's 65th birthday suggested that something important had changed. Prince William did not wait for Buckingham Palace to decide how his mother should be remembered. He did not rely on official speeches, royal ceremonies, or carefully written statements to tell her story. Instead, he quietly took on that responsibility himself in a way that felt deeply personal and completely sincere. Over the years, William has shown that preserving Diana's legacy is not something he believes should happen only on anniversaries or through public events. He has carried her values into his daily life. Through his work to tackle homelessness, the compassion he shows to vulnerable people, and the way he is raising George, Charlotte, and Louis, he has continued the lessons Diana taught him as a child. Every choice reflects his determination to make sure his mother is remembered for who she truly was, not simply for the tragedy that ended her life. Perhaps the most remarkable part is that William has accomplished all of this without seeking attention for himself. There have been no dramatic announcements, no emotional speeches, and no attempts to rewrite history. Instead, his actions have quietly spoken louder than words ever could. Many people now believe that Diana's legacy has entered a new chapter. It is no longer shaped primarily by palace traditions, official statements, or public debate. Instead, it lives most powerfully through the family she loved above everything else. By choosing to preserve her memory through compassion, service, and the next generation, William has become the quiet guardian of his mother's remarkable legacy, ensuring that future generations will know not only the Princess of Wales, but also the extraordinary woman whose kindness continues to inspire the world. Beyond doing everything within his power to honor and preserve his mother's legacy, is William trying to reopen old wounds with this heartfelt tribute? What burden did he carry as a child after the loss of his mother? And how determined is he to ensure that Diana's legacy lives on in the hearts of people for generations to come? Let's dive into the emotional details. Powerful truth about Diana's 65th birthday. As what would have been Princess Diana's 65th birthday drew to a close, one thing became clearer than ever. Prince William's tribute was never meant to reopen old wounds or ask the nation to relive the sadness of losing his mother. Instead, it became a powerful reminder that love does not disappear when someone is gone. When that love is passed from one generation to the next, it continues to grow, inspiring lives long after the person who first gave it is no longer here. Nearly 3 decades ago, the world watched a heartbroken 15-year-old William walk behind his mother's coffin in one of the most unforgettable moments in modern royal history. It was a burden no child should ever have had to carry. Yet today, that same young boy has become a devoted father who is determined to ensure that his own children grow up knowing exactly who their grandmother was. Not simply as Princess Diana, the famous royal admired around the world, but as the kind, loving, compassionate woman who shaped the man he would eventually become. Over the years, William has quietly fulfilled the promise he made to his mother in ways no one could have imagined. While he could never restore the royal title she lost before her death, he has protected something far more important. He has kept her values alive. Through his work helping vulnerable people, his commitment to tackling homelessness, and the lessons he shares with George, Charlotte, and Louis, William continues to carry forward the compassion Diana showed throughout her life. Perhaps that is why this birthday touched so many hearts. It was never really about the passing of another year. It was about seeing Diana's influence continue to shape the future through the people she loved most. Every story William shares with his children, every act of kindness inspired by her example, and every life changed through the causes he supports adds another chapter to Diana's remarkable legacy. Although Diana never had the chance to celebrate her 65th birthday, her spirit continues to live on in extraordinary ways. It lives in William's determination to serve others with compassion. It lives in Princess Charlotte's growing curiosity about the grandmother whose name she proudly carries. It lives in the values that continue to guide the next generation of the royal family. In the end, Diana's greatest memorial was never destined to be a statue, a palace tribute, or an official ceremony. Her greatest legacy is the love, kindness, and humanity she planted in her family, qualities that continue to shine through William and his children, ensuring that the people's princess will never truly be forgotten. So, what do you think about William's action? Has he honored his mother enough, or can he do more? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.